What up? What up? It's Friday. We here with it, man. We here with it. We made it. Now, this is the thing. I have to do a pre-recorded because now you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to go live, which is cool. I'm not sweating it. We're gonna get there. We just gonna keep steamrolling. I'm just gonna make this for y'all, and then we can chop it up. Thanks to whoever watches, and let's just have a little bit of fun with this. So we here to break down the Stefon Diggs uh Jamila Adams trial that just passed. And it seemed like it just came and went. You know what I mean? I didn't even know about the trial until it was pretty much over. It came across my Facebook feed, and then I said, let me look into this and see what I could dig up. This is a good teachable moment. So yeah, I thought I'd investigate a little bit, do some form of journalism, I guess, if you will. And let's bring up some things that we can learn, and we can just take from it what we need to and apply to our lives and learn from it, and then and keep going from there, man. So um recently, Jamila Adams accuses Stefon Diggs of slapping and choking her. Hmm. That's what the article says. That's what the report says. So it was a 2-day trial, and he was found not guilty, which is dope. Super happy for the brother Stefan. Congratulations, man. Those, that could have got you in a lot of trouble. But being that I've been incarcerated myself a few times in my younger years, I know what that's like, man. And I would want that to happen to none of you young brothers, man. None of my peers, nobody. It's just a setback on your life. It's just a setback on a lot of things that you want to accomplish. It's just not good. So I'm glad that he was found not guilty, and hopefully he can just learn from this and move on with his life. Now, this is the thing. Says that he was released by the Patriots, and now that he's pretty much like a free agent, he can sign with another team. So once I read that, this is one of the questions that popped in my head from it. Because I'm always seeing crazy stuff, and I'm always looking at everything from a spiritual lens. So I said, it's one of the questions that I asked myself. I said, I asked, was this a humiliation ritual? Excuse me. Now, there's always talks about humiliation rituals and all of that crazy stuff. So I had to ask myself, like, was this an actual humiliation ritual? Like, did he have to go through this in order to get to another level in his career? How does this go? I'm always trying to think and analyze and see what's going on behind what's going on. You know what I mean? That's just me. So I asked myself that question: was this a humiliation ritual for him? You know, go to another team, get a whole lot more money, you know what I mean? All that crazy stuff, right? Now, um, Stefan Diggs has been known to be linked to a few women, right? He has several children with different women, but the biggest name and the most notable woman was Cardi B. We all know what that situation was with the whole offset thing. We all know what's up with that, right? Um, Everybody said, you know what I mean? She was bugging, it was just a lot of talk and speculation about that relationship. But I think now that they aren't together anymore. Am I correct? Y'all let me know in the comments. Am I correct? She did have a child by Stefan, if I'm not mistaken. They had a child together and stuff like that. So it kind of like was just like a whole big mess with Offset and Cardi B and Stefan Diggs and that whole thing. But like I always tell y'all, young brothers, sisters, whoever needs it, you gotta stay disciplined. Okay, you gotta stay disciplined, man. This is, the trial and everything that Stefan's been going through. The trial and the accusations is just pretty much like the results of living in undisciplined lifestyle, right? Sexual immorality, right? Which I have the text. And I have my notes, and we're gonna break that down as we get deeper into this conversation. But sexual immorality, man, can jam you up, man. That that Jezebel spirit, man, will come after you, and it'll be crazy. It'll get nasty for you, man. So that's why I always tell y'all to stay disciplined, man. You gotta stay in your discipline. You have to. And I'm listen. I tell y'all right now, man. I've been through it myself. I've been through incarceration. I've been through crazy relationships. I've been through it. So I'm not speaking from a point of view of just looking. I'm speaking from experience as well, man. You know what I mean? I'm speaking from going through those situations myself. Being incarcerated, hearing them doors slam, and you know what I'm saying. Like I came home still hearing them. Yeah, yo, it was crazy, man. I'm telling you, that situation is crazy. But these are the results of being undisciplined, not even just sexually, not just sexual immorality in that sense, just being undisciplined in your lifestyle as in totality, like just in all your ways, just being undisciplined, smoking, drinking, carrying on, running the street, being undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? Not hearing the voice of God, right? Or if you hear the voice of God, not listening to it and not hearing to it and going that way instead. But we're gonna keep rolling and we're gonna keep breaking this down, like I said, right? So was it a humiliation ritual is one of the questions that I asked myself. But we don't know until we know. We're gonna see what happens with his career. We're gonna follow. We all seeing what's going on because it's always put in our face, right? So we're gonna know what's going on with his situation as time goes on with that. Now, another question I thought to ask myself as well, because I'm always questioning myself. I'm always getting analytical and trying to break things down and see what's behind what's in front of me. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So another question I asked myself was, did she lie? Because we don't know if her accusations is true. We don't know if it was true. How do we know that, what she said, or how do we know this whole thing wasn't even made up? We saw the video with her dancing in the other room. How do we know that, she didn't lie, or like this whole fiasco wasn't even made up? You get what I'm trying to say? So did she lie? And another question I had to ask myself after me asking myself, did she lie? Was, should women be charged for false accusations? Heavy question, right? And now trust me, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I know it's Friday. Y'all want to do y'all thing. Y'all want to kick it. It's the weekend, whatever, whatever. I get it. I've been there too, chilling, drinking, partying. I've been there. I know what it is on a Friday night for some people. But for whoever's watching, thank you. Like I said, we just going to take some things and learn from this, and and just break it down and try to be better in our ways from it. So, should women be charged for false accusations? Should they? And put your answer in the comments, and we'll continue to break that part down. I might do a whole nother video on should women be charged for false accusations, but put your answers in the comments, man. One for yes, two for no, and and we'll keep rolling from there. But my opinion and my answer is yes. Yes, because falsely accusing a man, right? If a woman falsely accuses a man of something that he didn't do, that can seriously derail his life, man. Like, and I'm not even just talking about just women falsely accusing men. I'm talking about just anybody falsely accusing anybody. A man can falsely accuse a woman too, but it just led me to ask, you know, should women be charged for falsely accusing men? Because a lot of times, most of the time, we see more of that. We see more women falsely accusing men than men accusing women. So, um, my answer is yes. My answer is yes, because the only way that women are going to stop doing that is if they know that there are consequences to it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So if they know that there's consequences to um, falsely accusing a man or even another woman of something that they didn't do, and it comes to find out that they lied, yes, they should be brought up on charges, not only for wasting the court's time, right? For wasting everybody that's involved's time as well, because that puts a strain on everybody. The people in the judicial system, the other person's family, that puts a strain on everybody. So I believe that there should be consequences to that. And that way there'll be far less false accusations. Believe me, if they know they're gonna go to jail behind it, it'll be a far less um accusations that'll take place from that point on. You know what I'm saying? So um what can we learn? There's another question I thought to ask myself. What can we learn? Right? Now, let's bring it, let's spin the record back. Let's bring it back, DJ. Let's bring it back. Right? Sexual immorality. That's what it really comes down to. Sexual immorality. Right? Now let's go to what God says about it, what the Elohim says about it, whatever name you have from. Let's go to the text about it. Right? So I did a little bit of homework, and now we can use the text, which I always got right here. We can go to the scripture and we can read what the Elohim says about it, about sexual immorality, right? So we're gonna go to First Corinthians chapter 6, 18 to 20. Where are we? Okay, so let's read this, right? Let's slide this back. Let's put this here. You know, what I mean? I got my desk and I got everything tonight. You know what I'm saying? Getting a little bit more comfortable with this whole thing, my biblical breakdowns, if you will. So let's see. First Corinthians chapter 6, 18 to 20. Flee sexual immorality. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he who commits sexual immorality sins against his own body. Or do you not know what your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For you were bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. So that's clear cut and dry about um sexual immorality, right? Like your body is a temple and you have to treat it as such, right? So if you want God to dwell in, he already dwells in you, but you know, in order for him to dwell securely, you have to protect your body, right? That's why smoking, drinking, and carrying on is not good, because the Elohim cannot dwell in an altered temple or an impure temple, you know. So basically what that's saying is take care of your body, take care of your temple. Don't be sleeping around, man, because now you're taking on the spirits of the people, the women that you're sleeping with. And this could go apply to both young brothers and young men, young women, both, everybody, you know, from young to old, anybody. Take care of your body, man. Don't just be out there sleeping around. Now, I've used to behave that way as well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not speaking from inexperience. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. That's why I'm coming to y'all like this, to let y'all know that it really isn't good. You know, taking on the energies of the wrong kind of people and things like that, it can hinder your life. It can really hinder life. It can slow you up, man. And you won't receive the blessings, man, because like again, like I said, the Elohim doesn't dwell in an altar temple. So you got to be careful. And let's do one more. We'll do Matthew chapter 5, verse 28. So let me get Matthew up here. Let's see. And I think I'm close. Okay. And let's see. All right, Matthew chapter 5, verse 28. Let me see, where are we? Okay, clear cut and dry. But I say to you that whomever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. I mean, how it doesn't get any more simpler than that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just what that's basically saying is just don't lust after women, man. You have to protect what you looking at too. Don't lust after women. Don't have lustful thoughts. You have to control. That's why I always tell you guys, man. You have to control your lust. You have to control your lust. You have to control your lust. So that means you have to protect your eyes. You have to protect what you're seeing, right? Because then those thoughts will get in your head, and then you'll be more liable to act on those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Especially if your flesh is weak. If your flesh is weak and your willpower is weak, you will fold. So you have to build your spirit. You have to pray. You have to fast. You have to do the work in order for you to be strong against those things. So again, control your lust, control your lust, control your lust, control your lust. So um closing statements. Just stay disciplined, man. That's all. Just stay disciplined. In all your ways, man. Just stay disciplined. Discipline, excuse me. Now, lust doesn't mean that, it's just about women. It can be for everything. Like I've said before, it could be for everything, man. Money, power, anything that you put before God, man. Anything that you want more than God's favor, man. That's lust. That's the overall definition of lust. So control your lust, control your spirit, control your mind. Just be in full control of yourself, man. So thank you for you guys for whoever watched. Thank you. Um, we're gonna keep doing this, man. I wanted to go live, but I couldn't. I didn't know that you have to have a certain amount of subscribers. So this is a brand new page. On my other page that I lost, yes, I had enough. I could have went live, but this is a brand new one, so we got to build this back up. So um, I hope you guys are doing okay, and just stay safe out there, man. Stay in your discipline. That's all. And I'm out.